Shiva, most of you have attended my other classes, I guess, right? Shivangi, Ritu, and Shweta. All of you have at some point attended my classes?
Yeah, I attended the class.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I think that is, you are Shivangi.
Ritu.
Ritu, okay, okay. So the idea here is to, those who have missed the introduction class, to cover up the topics. Basically, today is just an introduction. We're not going to get into the actual topics. It's more going to be a short introduction to business analysis. It's more of a demo class that I conduct, and I'll just give you, I mean, if you look into it, tomorrow we'll be having the SDLC class as well. So that's where it will all start off formally for your understanding and for working on things. Yesterday, if you have seen, we had moved into a couple of classes ahead where we were into the requirement management, and we were working on a case. That apart, today's class will give you a short introduction about business analysis. I want to make this class very interactive so that you can have you have any basic questions on business analysis, or you have questions on certification, you have questions related to anything related to business analysts and what it is like, what is a career like, etc. You can ask me. So I expect all of you to be more interactive and talk to me, and I'll also ask you some questions. So shall we start? Mark, can I start with it? I mean, we have around 4 attendees today.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All of you are able to see my screen, I guess. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Just trying to get a. Okay. Any idea what you think of business analysis? What do you guys think? Why did you come into business analysis, or why do you want to do this course, or why do you want to become a business analyst? Because in my previous classes, I don't think I have discussed on these aspects because we're getting into the topics. So from Bhuvan, Shivangi, Ritu, and Shweta, one of you could, each of you could share why you want to be a part of business analysis and why you want to take this up as a career. Why did you choose business analysis? Anybody there? Probably Shweta can answer, or probably Ritu can answer.
Yeah, hi, Shweta this side.
Yeah, Shweta. Yeah. Why did you choose this? Any particular reason?
Well, the first reason is that demand here is more for business analyst because it's being a professional course. Apart from that, I'm already from a banking background.
Oh, you already come from a banking domain.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's great. That's great. So do I. I worked quite a bit on banking, so that's nice. All right. What about Ritu? Yeah. What about Yeah.
So I remember you gave those examples of banking.
Okay. 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 Ritu, what about you?
I have a finance background, and I'm currently working as financial analyst. And I guess if I think in the IT sector, that matches very much with my current style and current job and current way I'm doing it. So I just think of little change in my own lifestyle and career. So that's why I'm here.
Okay, that's cool. Okay. I think we have Bhuvan and Shivangi also, if you would like to share.
Yeah, sure. Likewise, I've also done MBA in finance, and I've also worked
Okay.
as an analyst in past. But for me, like business analyst is
Okay.
more like a problem solving and then giving some creative solution to it. So I think I learned that and put it into my practical life more often now.
Okay. 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 Bhuvan, I think Bhuvan, you were there yesterday, and suddenly I think there was some problem, and we didn't get you
Sure. Sure.
later on. Okay. Sure.
Nitin,
Yeah.
from my engineering background, I like the analysis part, and business analysis is something that's
Okay.
interesting, very interesting, and I feel that I can excel in this industry. I can bring in a lot of
All right.
knowledge.
That sounds good.
Yes.
Okay. 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 All right. Okay. We'll start with the introduction. For those who have attended yesterday, this could be quite different. This is not going to be a whole and all case study and where we work on. Normally, my teaching methodology is I give a case and we are working on it. That's how we learn basically. In the whole, throughout the course, that's what I plan to do, rather than give you hardcore theory. And of course, there will be theory, but once you learn the core of it, I'll add theory to it and build up your knowledge on that. The first thing is to bring in the analysis aspect. So that's why we are doing a case study. Whoever attended yesterday would have found it a little difficult if they have joined late, because we had discussed the case and then moved ahead. So today we're going to go back. I mean, much it's more of an hour of discussion on what it is like, what is business analysis and how it is, what is the industry like, what certifications are there, and very basics of it, but very important to understand. Probably some of you already have an idea. If you don't have, nevertheless it's fine. And a lot of interaction. You can ask me questions on this. I'm going to talk outside of the subject and as well. So you can ask me any kind of questions as well. So first, let's start with what's business analysis, and what is a business analyst. It's a very, very basic definition. If you look into my screen, I'll just read out. Business analysis is a research discipline of identifying business needs and determining solutions to business problems. So solutions often include software development components, but may also consist of process improvement, organizational change, strategic planning, and policy development. So first thing, I mean, I highlighted something which makes it very interesting. It's a research discipline. It's unlike coding or any other. If you're working in the software industry, it's more monotonous, most of the work. Once you learn it, and you're going to do the same thing over and over again. But if you are a part of business analysis, it's more about this is something I've taken from Wikipedia, and it's a research discipline. They say it's a research discipline. So you're going to study, analyze, study. So it's very interesting. You will never get bored most of the times, and especially if you're working in product industries, where they develop products, etc. It's going to be even more interesting. So wherein we'll come to all that. What are the things? And so ultimately, the idea is to identifying business needs and determining solutions to business problems. Actually, you develop solutions to business problems. And now one more thing I want to bring into it is we all have come here to understand and become an IT business analyst. But business analyst just doesn't limit to a software system development component. But that's the first thing that comes in to mind. But it may also consist process improvement, organizational change, strategic planning, and policy development. All this are part of business analysis. So it's not that you develop a solution and then that's actually a software system development component. It can be a process change. You could be working in an industry where you are involved in process improvement, organizational change, policy development. These are all part of a job of a business analyst. Some of you come from banking, finance. If you look in banking industry, in finance, etc., you have non-IT business analysts as well, who actually suggest process changes, process improvement, policy development. But they may be, many places they're called as analysts. So that's also part of business analysts. And the person who carries out this task is called a business analyst or a BA. I think most of you know what a business analyst does and what business analysis is. Basically the definition and etc. Do you all know? I just want to make it interactive, so you all know. I mean, what it is like. The basic definition you all know, right? Bhuvan, Shivangi, Ritu, Shweta. Anybody has any questions? Yeah. So. Any questions on this?
No questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Now I just want to move to my next slide. I just want to give you an outlook of what it is, the market for business analysts and where it is going and stuff like that. You can see the survey, the slide.
Yeah, I can see them.
Yeah, this is something I just found and I picked up so that you guys get an idea of what it is and what is the employability of as a professional business analyst. So the American employers will need 876,000 business analysts related professionals by 2020. This is as per U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics Employment Projection Program. And if you look at it, they're increasing by 36% year on year. It's the 7th best job in America, and it's among the top 10 recession-proof jobs according to Forbes magazine. Top paid among 10, and it's among the high growth areas, and probably I think they earn somewhere between 60,000 to 130,000 on an average. That's what U.S. Department of Labor and IIBA salary survey suggests. So I'll talk about IIBA next. I mean, I don't have a slide, but I'd like to discuss that as well as we move ahead. This is the growth rate for the last 10 years, up to 2010. If you look at it, the way the job of BA has gone. So when I started, probably early 2000, etc., there wasn't much of a BA concept as such. Where have you all heard of a company called Rational? Anybody? Now it's taken over by IBM. Earlier it was called Rational Software, and they were the first in early years to come out with tools for BA, and it's called something known as Rational Tools. That's when people started to look at it, look at requirements as such as a very important aspect. So early 2000 it all started, and if you can see now business analyst is like the job itself has grown. You can see the chart; it's growing steadily. One more thing before I proceed. Have you heard of IIBA? Anybody? This is basically a certifying body. There are two certifying bodies. One is basically IIBA. The other one is BC. I think British Computers Association, BCA. And if you want to be a certified business analyst from IIBA, you need to have a certain level of experience. I think they look for a minimum of 3,000 odd hours of experience, whereas if you're taking a certification from the basic foundation certification from British Computer Society, BCS, you do not require any experience. You can just go ahead and write the exams from either Prometric or Pearson, through Pearson or Prometric. So it's very easy to take the exam, and it adds a lot of value if you're going to take up this certification. So we will be basically covering this most of the topics related to the certification. If someone is planning, I mean, you guys have any plans on taking up the certification?
Don't know yet. Maybe you can think of later. But, I don't know much about that at this moment.
Ritu, Shweta, Bhuvan, any of you? I mean,
Yeah, maybe later.
have.
Like we can think about it, but
Okay.
not sure at this moment.
All right. Okay. Because earlier when I used to conduct demos, a lot of questions used to come from certification. So I just thought if anybody has any questions on that, I might as well answer that. So you can always get back to me on this.
Yeah. Basically, if you understand it better, like what we are going to do overall and how we can do it, and after learning all these things, how easy it will be to get ourselves certified. So it depends. That if we are very close, definitely we can think about it with a little bit of extra work, right? So and if it's a big gap, then it makes difficult to, or we need extra time or extra efforts or a lot of efforts to do that. So it depends. I have no much idea. I'm just listening right now. So maybe the next question.
Definitely. Yeah, over the course, I'd be helping you on the, because a lot of theory is required when you're going in for certification, and I would surely cover most of it, most of what is required. But as you would have seen yesterday, and whoever attended my classes yesterday, day before, yesterday, etc. I'm more focused on going hands-on. I try to work on some cases, and we try to learn on that level, and then come back to the theory. So there'll be so you understand theory much better when you do it hands-on. So that's why that's the way the learning is going to be if you join my program, and at the end of it, maybe if you're interested, you could take up a project as well. So that I think Mark will discuss with you. So let's move forward. So this is about certification and what's the survey like, and now we'll move a little more into what we need to discuss on from a business analysis, or as a business analyst, what you need to know. So let's move on. Okay. Before we start, see, if you were to be a business analyst, you would typically be, I mean, if you look at it, normally people join two kinds of organizations. One is project-based companies. Those are, what I'm talking about is service-based companies. And you could either join a product-based company. A product-based company is project-based, as you know, most of this Accenture or CTS, these are all project-based companies. So, and product-based companies are companies that actually manufacture products. It could, from an, if you look at the IT companies, it could be, Microsoft is one good example. They have a lot of products. Similarly, game manufacturers and a whole lot of them. who actually, SAP is a product-based company. So companies which actually manufacture software products, and project-based companies really don't manufacture any products. I know of, I don't know, they may have a separate wing to do it, but most of the companies I discuss, if you take Infosys or CTS or what else, Tech Mahindra, these companies really don't manufacture any product, except for Infosys has Finacle, if I'm not, if I'm correct. Since you guys come from finance industry, you must have seen a lot of products and some customized software as well. So basically, project-based organizations are structured around the needs of a project. So if you look at project-based, if you look at project-based firms, they are basically structured around projects. Like, for example, if you take most of the IT services companies, they are structured around projects. It's not driven by, the whole effort is not driven towards products. And there are companies which are driven by products. As we, they may have a number of products and businesses according to a particular line of goods and service. Now, why I'm discussing this is how does a business analyst fit in here? What really happens here? There is a differentiation here. In project companies, you are called as business analysts. In product companies, you may be called business analyst, or you could be a product analyst. You will see it's the same role typically, but there is a huge differentiation factor here. Now, in what happens really in project companies, I'll just give you a brief idea. Okay, I'll just open my notepad properly. Let's close this. I'll open my notepad. Now, if you look at, let's take a project-based company. In project-based companies, I would like you to understand what really happens is you actually really do not work on a particular product or a particular area of expertise. There will be a domain, but you will have multiple. I mean, normally what happens is these companies, these project-based companies, bid for projects. How does this happen is that they have the sales team that is on the lookout for project. They are spread over all across the globe, and they would actually be talking to companies, and there you would, typically if it's banking, they'll be talking to various banks for projects. So the banks would typically, create something known as RFP, request for proposal. So the bank would have analyzed what their requirement is, what their problem area is, and they would actually put it on a document called request for proposal, RFP it is called. So this RFP will be taken by the sales guy and will be passed on to the business analyst and the project manager, or to the pre-sales person. Typically, a business analyst would work closely on the pre-sales engagement. That is the starting point for any business analyst. If you look in companies where a typical IT services company, this may not be a part of your regular business analyst, organizational structure study, etc. But this is what happens. He works closely with the sales department, to be precise. He would work closely with the sales department. There are sales guys and pre-sales guys. So sales guys will generate the lead. and leads can come in as many forms, but normally if you look, there would be an RFP, that is request for proposal, that is generated by the client. Business analyst would study the RFP, and he would typically create a case out of it, and he would estimate what exactly would be the there will be a lot of assumption taken into account, because this is just a document and they would give a timeline within which you have to submit the proposal. So the next thing what we do is we basically would work on the proposal. So in the proposal you would actually define what is your understanding from the RFP. Maybe you will communicate with, there will be a contact person mentioned in the RFP. Maybe you would talk to that person and try to understand what exactly is required. And then a proposal is defined. So the proposal is basically, it's not just you, the pre-sales, business analyst and the project management division would work together and then create a proposal. Essentially, pre-sales person would take most of the work here, but definitely to analyze the cost, the budget, the people required, the domain expertise and the technology required, he would speak to business analysts and request for documents, etc. So once the proposal is done, then it goes into the, there'll be a lot of companies submitting their proposal, and somebody would get selected, and that's when your requirement gathering process starts. So you go to the company if it's a development project. So you're going to go there, you're going to work with a particular department, understand the problem or the issue, and start defining the solution. And that's the starting point for a business analyst. This is typically the case in services industry. So there's a lot you can go into it. I mean, we'll come to it later. When we are into the course, we'll discuss that. Now, product industry is very interesting. Product based. If you have an MBA or something, it adds as an advantage. Now, here what happens is these companies, for example, McAfee or Kaspersky, etc. A lot of companies which manufacture products. A lot of ideas that come. Even I think Facebook and all these are products basically. So what really happens here is, here you're not developing an application for a third party. You're doing a product, and this product is going to be used either by consumers, customers, users, general public. It could be for business. SAP builds products for business. So here you need to have a very good understanding of a lot of one is you need to have a very clear understanding of what the business is, the customers. You need to conduct surveys. You need to have competition, the knowledge about competition. All these factors come into picture. How the competition is working. So, and then how you can, what is that the people like about your product? What is it that they don't like about it? What is that they would like to have? So you actually conduct marketing surveys. This is something known as competitive analysis, and various. So a lot of your skills that you would have learned while doing your MBA, etc., could come into play. So it's more about developing a product. So product actually sits in a very competitive environment, whereas when you're developing it for a particular functional unit, I'll come to it, where in the service industry, you really will not look into the competition to that extent, but of course you will try to incorporate what the client says and what is really available. If you have a very good understanding what you can bring, value add that you can bring, that's what will count. Whereas here you got to be very, very, you really need to analyze and get down to business. And so it's a very challenging environment, very interesting to work in a product-based company as an analyst as compared to a project-based industry. So any questions here? Anything you want to know? I just give you a brief idea about what project-based companies or product-based companies are from project and product-based IT companies, to be specific. I've not gone into the organizational chart, or I'm not trying to explain the which is not necessary right now. What you need to understand where you start off is either it's going to be in a product-based company or in a project-based company. So do you get a basic idea about what it is? You have any questions? Shivangi,
No.
more people have joined. Probably anyone. I mean, this is just I've just differentiated what it is like to work in a project-based company, what it is like to be in a product-based company, and the difference in of being an analyst in these two companies. And most of the jobs will come from service-based, that is, project-based companies. Product-based companies would be limited, but if you can break through into it, it's great. So the challenges are more. That's what I was trying to convey here. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When we go for project-based company, project-based environment, don't
environment to be
companies trying to use the product base for their own solution, like they have some issues and they are looking for solution and they're coming for bidding and sending us RFP. But don't they look into the product which can provide the solution for them, or being working in as a project, like project based, can't the service oriented, like we can use the product and give that solution to the client? Maybe they don't know about that product and we can provide that as a solution. So doesn't it make in that situation, like a project
before a client if I were to understand, you are saying that there is a client who wants a solution and they have come to a project-based company, and can I suggest a product to them? That's your question, right?
Correct.
Okay, you can suggest, because SAP is a product, isn't it? SAP, you've heard of SAP, right?
Yeah, it's a software used for.
Yeah, it's a software. So it's a product, but to implement the product, it is, if there is a solution available, there are a lot of companies. When I talked about CTS or Tech Mahindra, all these, Infosys, etc., they also do SAP solutioning. So they actually provide solutions through products as well. So you can suggest a product, and before a company comes to you, to a service-oriented company for a particular solution, they would have evaluated what are the products available. What is the, they would have done what is the SWOT analysis, basically what is the strength, what is the weakness of using it, and then they would have decided, okay, I don't think a product suits my budget or my requirement or, various aspects. So I would look into I would try to get it done using a project, because there will be a lot of licensing costs, etc. involved. So every year you'll end up paying a lot of money if you buy a product, especially if you're looking at ERP solutions, etc. But if you do it as a project, I would take it as a project, get it done once, and then start using it. There could be a lot of advantages. So before I go in, the client actually goes into request for proposal. He would have evaluated a lot of things, and then he would have decided, okay, let me go. I need a customized solution, so I need to go to a service provider who can provide me the solution. So that's how. Am I answering your question?
Yeah, but just in the same scenario, just like you said, that they can go.
You can.
SAP, they can use as a SAP as a solution and give it to the client, right? So if client is thinking of SAP, why can't client directly get the SAP and do the things? Like, as you said, it will be expensive for them, and how it will be not less expensive when it will go through project instead of product.
Okay, I got your question. why can't the client go directly and purchase SAP and start using it? That's your question. Question number one, right? And why is it going to be less expensive if I go to a project? These are the two things I'm trying to address. Am I right?
For the same product, right? So like, so how it will be less expensive?
For the same product, okay.
Correct.
Okay. Two things, okay. One is, first thing, let me answer this. Say, why can't I buy SAP directly? See, if I'm a bank and I want to use SAP for my HR processes, I can. There is something known as, I do not have people who know SAP. They know how to use SAP, but they do not know how to administer, how to implement, and how to maintain SAP. I need some company, somebody who can help me out.
So when
So for that, I would be contacting.
Don't they provide the service along with that? I'm like, don't take it otherwise, but I'm just thinking of project and product based scenario here. So
Yeah.
Like you said,
Yeah, that's interesting.
the solution
Yeah,
is there, but to operate that, to maintain that, we need people. So it's like the company can, like, to run that thing, it's always okay to hire some employees and do that stuff for the company. And at the same time, the product company can must have some service or service providers or something, some facility. Otherwise, his product will not run in the market. So he might have some support too.
Definitely. Yeah,
So
SAP definitely has its own support.
Like, yeah, SAP might have their
Why
own
it will go to,
yeah.
yes. SAP has its, but then their cost and see, every product is comes, like if you take even a simple product, like if you ask me, for example, if you're buying any of your, why can't you directly buy it from a manufacturer? It's like asking, why can't I go and buy a refrigerator or a television directly from Sony? Why should I go to a distributor? Why should I tie up? So they will not be able to manage. I mean, they don't have the bandwidth to manage so many clients. They do not have, and if they are going to manage this, they are going to charge. SAP's the kind of cost that's involved if you directly work with SAP is different from if you work through a vendor. These are all vendors. These service providers are all vendors of SAP. So it is a similar route. It's like a distributor.
Oh,
okay. So SAP is manufacturing something. These guys distribute it, set it up, and execute it for you. So it's a similar thing. It's a similar kind of operation. Are you getting it?
Yeah. That makes sense.
Okay. So that's how these Infosys, etc. works.
Cheaper, like if you think in that way, buying from manufacturer versus buying from a retail shop, that definitely the retail shop is expensive than the manufacturer. So how it will be less expensive to go?
In software, there are a couple of things. When you purchase it, the licensing cost is going to be, there is going to be a cut to the distributor. But maintenance, implementation over a period of time, yes, you are going to pay if you're going to SAP Global for this, they're going to charge you really, almost 2 or 3 times what probably Tech Mahindra charges.
Okay, got it.
Okay, on a long term, yeah, it's going to be cheaper. So it's like you have a Sony TV and you want to give it to the Sony. There are guys who can do it locally. Okay, there are guys who can fit a IC chip onto it and they can do it. Or you want to send it to Japan and these guys will do it, manufacturer exclusively, and the guy comes in and fixes it for you. Then it's going to be more costly, right?
Right.
So it's a similar concept that works. So of course, if you look at smaller products, it's better to buy it directly from the. They wouldn't come to a service provider for if they think that a particular product solves. Like you're not going to. I mean, if you want to buy MS Word or MS Office, you're going to buy it directly from. I mean, from one of the sellers. You're not going to go to Infosys and say, build me one. I need a solution for MS. I mean, I want something like MS. Can you build me one? And that would really, it's not really a great idea. So you'd rather go to Microsoft vendor and buy it. So it depends on what kind of solution. I'm not talking about simple products. I'm talking, when it comes to large ERP solutions, etc. I hope I have cleared your. Okay. Anyone else has any questions at this point? So that was interesting to. Okay, this is, if you look into product management competencies, like if you work for a product-based companies, you need to come with a larger skill set and competencies as compared to a business analyst. So he would only, if you look into this picture, this is what your business analyst skills are, but if you're getting into product management, you need to have more competencies in terms of as a business analyst. Like I said, you're going to go into the market side of it. You're going to understand the competition, all these factors, surveys, a lot of factors come in. So this is something that showcases that. Now let's move on to the organizational chart. As a business analyst, we are discussing. Okay. Now we discussed on product. Now when you are hired by a service industry, or if you could also be hired by directly by a client itself. A business analyst need not be part of a service provider. He can be directly working with a client as well. Probably the core company itself hires you. In such cases, you would typically work with one of the functional departments. See, a typical organization, you would have an headquarters with, various departments, finance, industry to industry. In banking, it could be quite different from, heavy machinery manufacturer or a vehicle manufacturer. So they are all function. If you look at it, there are various functional areas, and each of this will form a department. And as a business analyst, you could be working in one of these departments. You might belong to the IT department ultimately, but you might be reporting, if you're working on a finance department, you might be reporting to the functional head of finance department. If you're working in the HR department, you could be working, reporting to the HR head, because you are going to analyze his problems and provide solutions, understand his needs, and define solutions. That's what you're going to do. So even if you have joined a services firm, you would typically, be working with one of these departments, maybe project management department, one of these departments, and then working with the people, they would be the stakeholders, and you will be providing solutions to these stakeholders typically. So any questions? I'm just trying to say where the BA could fit in. So I'm just trying to give you a brief idea. And then very often the case is that BAs work in one of these departments. I've not put all the departments, I've just taken a random organizational chart. He could be working in the production department. Then he will try to understand the entire, the department's working structure, and then he would typically deliver a solution. And if he's working on a marketing department, then he would try to analyze how they are working, what does the need. They would come up with a lot of needs and problems and issues, and BA would go about and try to solve or provide solutions for their pain areas or their needs. So you would typically sit in one of these departments and work. So that's where the domain area also comes in. So if you're working in a marketing department, you slowly start to understand the entire domain of what marketing, sales is all about, and then you start developing solutions, and you start providing ideas, you start improving processes within it. You can even be defining policies which could actually ultimately provide the ultimate objective or goals of the department and the organization. So an understanding, I mean, this is a typical organizational chart. Probably in one of the classes we'll go into what is functional, what is structural, what is a matrix organization, etc. Not very required in depth. Just a brief idea is sufficient. But I wanted to give you where a BA fits in. So that's why I bought this. And when you join as a BA, what really happens and where you fit in. So you need to have an understanding of one of these areas. A lot of people come from finance, so it's very easy. Once you understand what happens in IT and how it's solutioned, you can really fit in very easily within as a BA within a finance organization, or the finance department of any company. Similarly, HR, all these departments. Or somebody who would start off in one of the departments as a BA. So, any questions here?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Let's take the role. So, what's the role of a BA? BA is a person who speaks to users, business people, development team, testers, and architects, each with their own language to bridge the gap between all stakeholders. So, this is your typical role. When you're a BA, what you're going to do is basically you're going to speak to these users, and the users could be stakeholders. Sorry, they could be users. It could be your customers, it could be your clients, it could be the business people. So you need to understand what they require and then speak with the development team. There are two aspects. One is the business side of it, one is the development side of it. And the development team will have various different kind of issues, different kind of questions to ask. Then you need to talk to the testers, because it's very vital that a lot of business BAs actually need to understand a certain level of testing as well. They'll need to understand what is user acceptance testing, how to write test cases, etc. So we will also be covering testing as required for a BA, and what is required to be the kind of knowledge required, how to write user acceptance test cases, how to write non-functional test cases, because there will be functional and non-functional aspects to it, which will come later as we go on. So you'll need to have some level of understanding in writing test cases, then to architects as well. So there's a lot of work to be done in terms of data flow diagrams, UML diagrams. You'll be basically these are basically visual representations of businesses. So you will need to you should be able to draw these visual representation, and we'll be using tools like Visio. I have already installed Visio. Let me see a minute if you can. Yesterday's class I was able to show you that today. Just check if I have it somewhere. If I can now open Visio, is not there here. Yeah, it's somewhere. Okay, it's just the drawing. Okay, I'll just check on it and get back. I think it's in my other system. Not sure. So I'll just, we'll be using tools like Visio and Enterprise Architect. I will show you how to use the tool and how to work on creating UML and data flow diagrams. Yesterday I had asked the assignment to draw a few diagrams. You can use Word as well, but using tools like Visio really helps. So we will try to use these tools in representing these diagrams, etc. So the architects and the development team, a visual representation really helps. That will take it forward. So typically you need to have a good grip on visual modeling, basically unified modeling language. So we will be teaching that. That's very essential. And what else? Yeah, you'll also be writing. I mean, I've missed out something. You'll also be involved in writing user manuals, or at least working with the documentation team. If you work in large organizations, yes, you have a documentation team. So you basically make you'll typically make a user manual, which is then sent out to documentation team, and they would actually format it and make it into a PDF or add more animation and color to it, so that it's a structure. They'll structure it. So you will typically, but the writing aspect of a user manual is typically done by a BA. So you need to have good communication skills as well. So any questions here? Anything you want to know? What a role, what he does. I've just given a gist of what a BA does and what he needs to know. I'm just covering it as anything you want to know. Anything. I mean, if you have anything, why he needs to know testing, why he needs to know, how much of development is required. You don't require any coding knowledge, and you need to have an understanding of every other thing other than coding. So you'll work with architects, because you'll be, you are the person who understands the business and the performance of that may be required from the business and the number of users. So a lot of factors will come in. As we go, I'll discuss. As we discuss the case, we'll come in. So if anybody has any questions, they can ask me.
Do we need to know any language or testers? Or
I said you don't require to know, unless you need to know to a certain extent unified modeling language, UML.
Okay. Which we will
UML
learn.
is essential. Yeah, okay. You will be learning. Whatever is required, we will teach you. UML will be learned, and I'll also be using. I've already started. If you've been attending yesterday's classes, we have started using Visio with some diagrammatic representation and data flows, etc. So those kind of things we will teach you, and we'll also make you do it, not just teach you, so that you are, if you're going to join somewhere, you can straight away start using Visio or one of the tools without much problem. So there'll be assignments, etc.
So I have Visio in my system, so do I need to download, or how can I get it? I have no idea.
Yeah, I think Mark will help you on that.
Okay.
Okay, provide you with evaluation version. Also, there are some open source tools like Pencil, etc. So, which is similar to Visio. It's just an open source. You can install that and start using it, which provides more or less the functionalities.
Okay.
Or you could download any of the evaluation versions of these tools available, and you can start using it.
Okay, sounds good.
Right. So this is just a representation of, a lot of times the BAs and the project managers work together, especially in the initial stages. And all of them, the testers work together, because they need to, for them, the requirements are the Bible, and that's what they base their tests on. And if you look at it here, the testers, I mean, you create user acceptance test cases. So you and the testers will work closely. So probably you'll define the user acceptance test cases, and the testers would execute it for you. from the developers, yeah, developers need to know, you know, a lot of things that come by. You know, when I say developers, it's going to be, you're familiar with, all of you just have an idea what is a database. You know, when I speak about developers, it's going to be the database users, it's going to be, you know, database developers, you know, DBAs, etc. So all these people also, when they're developing, there is something known as ER diagrams. Have you heard of all these things, terminologies like ER diagrams, class diagrams, or any of you? I mean, you haven't heard, you can let me know. So we'll, it doesn't matter, but I'm just saying. So when they are designing, there are, yeah?
I haven't heard.
Okay, no issues. So when we cover SDLC, I'll just tell you briefly what happens. I think we'll need a couple of other, 2 more classes to actually get to where I am in the other session. So probably I'll just discuss those things when I'm talking about SDLC, so that you're in line with what. And I cannot even explain in completeness of what ER diagrams or what HLD and LLD, but we'll give you a basic idea so that going forward you will not have any problems. So these are basically some, yeah.
Broadly, like, what do I understand? Developer means more like who does coding and who really put the plan in terms of IT and they turn into, like, you know, like basically coding and make sure if the coding works. So before the testers do, they complete that whole coding integration and all that kind of things.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I'll be doubling. You know, next class probably we'll be going into software development lifecycle. So I'll be covering a lot of it. Probably at that point I'll explain each one. Today I've just scheduled for 1 hour. Maybe tomorrow, if you guys are free, we could extend it for more than an hour. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
And then it's going to be very crucial. Today is not as crucial as the next couple of classes, where if you guys have no idea about software development, yeah, you need to get started there, and then we will go into the rest of the aspects. So, and also when I say business SMEs, subject matter experts. So if you go to each of these, when I showed you the organizational chart, each of these departments will have subject matter experts. These are people who have expertise, knowledge in that particular department, the processes, how it is done, what is done, what are the issues they're going to face. So you're going to be interacting with them. That's where the requirements would come in from. And obviously, the other area where requirements would come is end users. End users are probably you're working for a client, but their end users are the people, you know, could be like you and me. I access my banking application. So I have a lot of issues accessing it. How will a BA come to, you know, so he may probably understand things from an end user's perspective as well. So that's another thing. Then architects are going to interact with you. So architects are going to interact because they need to architect a solution, basically, which will ultimately be used by you know, developers. There could be hardware architecture as well. So some amount of, you know, knowledge is required from that side. Not at this point, probably as a senior BA, when you come into performance-related performance criterias, and you know, what happens really is that there are around 1,000 users trying to use an application. What really happens? What kind of servers are required? You know, those kind of information, as you get more and more experience, probably you'll come into it. Not every business analyst will have that kind of information, but a certain level, yes. And there could be other stakeholders like the management, etc. So they will also start interacting with you, and you need to come out with a solution. That's your job, basically. And you need to satisfy all these guys, and there will be a lot of questions. So when I say satisfy, you need to answer these questions and ensure that the project objective is achieved, or the goal is achieved, so that the project is as required by your end user, as required by your business, so that these guys develop it, test it, and deliver it. That's what the basic role of BAs to interact and ensure you actually achieve what the objective and goals of a project is. Yes, what is the difference between a BA and a project manager? A project manager is like a captain of a ship, and BA is like a navigator. He exactly takes you where the project has to go. Whereas the project manager is like a captain. He manages everything and ensures that you're going in the right direction to the right place. So this is for today. I think I'll just stop here. It's been an hour, so I'll continue this and software development lifecycle tomorrow, and I think day after. That's how Mark is planned, because I need some time to really explain those things. So we'll go one step at a time. So I'll take time to explain it. So you have any questions today?
Yes, I'm just catching your time. I have a quick question. Like when you say business SME and BA is also a solution provider for that particular project where he's working for, right?
Yeah.
So isn't it these two people are same? Like SME is itself, he's SME.
Subject matter expert. Yeah, that's right.
He's SME, right? So he knows his problem and he knows his solutions too. At the same time,
he knows his problem, but he may not understand the solution lies in a by developing a software in a way it has to be suggested the way it can be operated. He just has a problem. Like if you look at my case, if you have visited, I mean, if you had attended yesterday's class, you would have seen the kind of problem the subject matter expert has, but he doesn't know the solution, how to go about it, and we are developing a solution for it, how it can be solved. He may not have absolutely no understanding of, but he may just say, I need a solution using your software where I can, probably bring this down or, get this down. But actually, the actual solution that you are going to, you understand that, and then you actually build your the business case. He will also help you. I mean, you're going to take his, ultimately he's going to sign off. This is what I have. This is the solution I'm going to come out. This is the way the application is going to look like. Are you okay with this? This is what we're going to build, and this is how it will solve your problem. So that's the solution I give. He wants a solution. He has a problem.
Yes.
And he will suggest you what could be done.
Class we saw the use case where he wrote what his problems are, right? So when
that is a
when we look into that, he might be knowing the solution that I have a lot of orders which I'm not able to track, and then I'm not able to track whether the order, when I'm receiving it, it is exactly the same order or not, or it is less, more, or it is defect or whatever it is. So these are the problems he narrated, and he knows that he needs to pay attention to that to fix that, right? And we provide the solution. Okay, this has to be reconciliations. You have to have some order number versus receiving number and quantity match or something like that. So that's what. So, but what my question here is, being an SME, sometimes like they know the solution. Like I'm just trying to segregate the role here as a BA. If I enter into that BA role, I am a solution provider or I am solution executor.
Okay, I'll tell you. Most of the time, this should solve. Most of the time, you will start off as a BA, but you will become a domain expert. That means you will become a subject matter expert. So actually, over a period of time, you do not need really an SME from the functional department. He may be involved in a lot of other work. His job is not to actually develop a solution. So he will just say, he knows what the problem is. He knows that this could be solved using a software. He knows that, but he cannot go and develop a business requirement document, talk to these guys, and actually come out with a solution. So that's where the BA comes in.
Right. So that's why we are, as a BA, my role is more like executing those solutions, which is already, they know it, but they want to get these things done. You know,
Yes,
I know
yes, they will know.
it's like this, but it is not happening. So you are appointed, and now you get these things done in this way. So this is something like that.
Yes.
So I am more
something like that.
As executor of those solutions, which might be there or which might not be there. I'm not saying, but when I see the
I'll just give you a simple example. If you're working on a shop floor, you have guys who have problems. They'll just narrate the problem. But that does not mean that shop floor guy can come out with a solution. He might be just, his job is very manual, his education is very low, but he's working in a large automobile manufacturer. So he has a problem, and the solution is basically in the shop floor is some kind of software implementation. Now he is not going to come and actually, define, but you need to talk to him and understand his problem, and he will suggest you, I wanted something. The solution also he's suggesting. But really coming out with a solution, that's your job. Are you getting it?
Okay. So in real scenario, what happens? It's like more we have to provide solution, or more we have to provide, we have to work more like an executor of that solution, which is already, just we have to get
both ways. You have to see, as you grow, your knowledge also grows. So you might have better understanding, and you might become a better subject matter expert than the person who's there. So you can suggest, see, if you look at one of the definitions, I said he also suggests, in a nutshell, a business needs, he also actually suggests solutions. Somewhere I've put it. So I think one of the slides I had seen that he also suggests solutions. It's not just about actually giving the solution. He understands the needs and suggests solutions. So there will be a lot of suggestions coming from your subject matter expert, and you may also suggest some things, and together you will form a solution, because there could be technical difficulties from the technical side to implement certain solutions, which the shop floor may say. He may want,
there might be multiple solutions, but
multiple, and you have to choose the best one. That is the role of the BA is to choose the best solution from various alternatives that's available.
Yes, that's okay.
Okay, that sounds, is that fine?
Mm-hmm.
That answers your question. Any other questions? Can we close for the day and continue tomorrow? Tomorrow I may take for a longer period, and we'll try to get into SDLC. We'll talk, very important that if you want to start off, as a BA, whether you join, you don't join, it's better you understand SDLC very clearly.
So you will start at 8, or you will start early also, like before 8?
You discussed with Mark. Mark is giving me the same time. I thought I'd start at the same time and continue for 2 hours.
You will extend on the later side. Okay.
Yeah, we can. There'll be a lot of interaction, because I'm even trying. I may cover Scrum tomorrow or the day after. So it requires time. There's a lot of questions, and you need a clear understanding. So if I'm covering Agile as well, so you once I cover these topics, you'll get into a better understanding.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Thanks everybody. We'll catch up tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Thanks. Mark, you can take over. Mark, are you there? I think Mark is not there, so we'll catch up tomorrow.
Okay, no problem. I will talk tomorrow.
No problem. Same time, I think Mark will send you a mail across on the details.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Have a nice good night.